Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Gaming, tech, culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
You're listening to the Cool Black Nerd Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
I would like to welcome everybody to I guess this is the fourth episode, really, of the Cool Black Nerd Podcast. We recorded the third episode. The audio was trash. Hopefully this one won't be that way. So you guys will probably never hear that third episode. It was really good, too. It's probably the best episode that we'll ever have.
You know, I'm going to just go ahead and introduce myself. Justice here, hanging with Brother Jules. You know what? I may release that episode.
I don't think you should. I don't want you to release it. I don't think that's a good episode to put out there into the public that way.
No, you know what? Because if the fans want it, I'll put it out. Let me say that.
Okay.
That's what I will say.
Speaking of the fans, I would like to give a shout out to my number one fan. I don't know your name.
Ali.
Ali, I appreciate your email. And we do this podcast for you and people like you. So, yeah. We're trying something a little bit different today, guys. We're going to record this while we are playing Destiny 2. Something happened today in the Destiny community. They brought back a weapon from Destiny 1 that everybody is very excited to get. And we were going to do this anyway. So we decided, hey, why not just try to record the podcast while we having the same conversation we would have had if we were playing the game anyway. So if you hear us randomly cussing or screaming or something, or we say something that just doesn't make sense, like I say, hey, Justice, did you make sure you picked up that thing in the other room? And that's really a question for you, by the way.
Oh, damn. There's a thing in the other room?
Yeah, you're supposed to pick it up over here so we can get back to it. But stuff like that, you might hear that as we're discussing other topics.
But what you can do is watch the footage on the Twitch account, Say What Radio.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't even know we were going to do that. All right. That's what's up.
And on the YouTube. It's right here. Okay.
Well, it was in here somewhere. At this point, you just got to find it. I don't know where it's at now.
Ain't this about a bit?
You got it. I mean, I guess we could jump off talking about Destiny. So they do this right when you think Destiny is just dead. They just throw a random secret quest in there that makes you come back and play the game for another week, maybe 2 weeks.
I mean, it's better than what Anthem's doing. Devs are being pulled off of Anthem development to be starting on their other projects or whatnot, but they're still saying that the game is still going to have things that are coming out for them. But I love that they're like, hey, the roadmap we showed you, all the stuff that we said was coming. Yeah, we don't know when that is coming anymore. But yeah, keep the faith.
Yeah, so they came out with a roadmap, and it was supposed to be a ton of things that actually should have happened in the game by the end of April, and just none of that happened. So I'm going ahead and say that Anthem is dead. BioWare is probably dead as a studio. I hate to say that part of it. I mean, where do they go from here? They spent the last, 10 years developing Anthem, and the game
There's
just
nothing
flopped.
for me in this room. Well, that's true. Oh, but they're not a Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. You have to lay that one out to the people.
Okay. So Star Citizen is a game that was crowdfunded through Kickstarter for the last 8 years, accumulating over $288 million during this time in crowdfunding, with things like, oh, you want to buy ships for your upcoming engagement in the game, because it's basically pay to win for the most part, because you can purchase items and things like that will start you off at a very high level, high rank, things like that.
I mean, I guess that's okay for a crowdfunding game.
Yeah, it's okay. But if I'm paying upwards of $3,000 for items for a game that hasn't even released yet, are you serious?
I mean, somebody made a choice. I can't blame that on anybody but the person who decided to spend $3,000 on something like that. I don't even know why you would do that. I mean, you got to realize, one, it's on Kickstarter, so it's not very likely to happen in the first place.
Well, how
did they get $288 million?
Well, crowdfunding. So what they kept doing is putting out these trailers or footage or demos, let me say, that's a better word, of the games. Now, I will say that they've been able to acquire some A-list stars for the talent as far as voices and things like that for this. Gillian Anderson, which is from X-Files fame.
Yeah, I think I saw Mark Hamill.
Oh, dude, that right there is just, man, come on.
I mean, they have a lot of, but that's a voiceover though, like that.
That's very true. But the footage and the demos that they were able to release, and it's basically in an alpha state right now. They were promised like over 100 worlds. They have one. They were promised like thousands of ships. They have barely 30. I think they said like 8 are functional at this time or something like that.
So really it's just 8. The other ones are just there to look at.
For the most part.
Okay.
This is pretty much the Fyre Festival of gaming.
The Fyre Festival of gaming. I mean, that's what it sounds like. You know, I read up on it a little bit today. I'm sure there's way more to it than I know, but it sounds like whoever the creator was it might just be a con man to me. I don't know.
He's not a con man, but he is like a big guy, if I'm not mistaken, like he did or was ahead of things over at Microsoft and Xbox and things like that for their development.
Okay.
So, of course, you know, people are saying, oh, I'm bringing this over.
Should be a reliable.
Correct. But what they're saying is that he is a visionary person. He's just not a good manager of this stuff, and that the development has been pretty much hell. Okay. Shit isn't getting done.
So at this point, what's the progress?
As I said, 288 million. Well, let me ask you this. How much do you think Destiny cost? Do you actually know?
I know they had like a 500 million budget. I don't know what the development budget was. I think the 500 million was development and marketing.
Yes, it was.
So I'm pretty sure marketing probably cost way more than half. Yeah.
So development for Destiny was 140 million.
Okay.
And you see the level of stuff that actually happens in this game, right?
Yeah. Okay. This is a highly polished, game.
Yes. How about GTA 5?
GTA 5. That was, I don't know. I feel like, that was only on consoles, I think.
No, it was on PC as well.
All right, I'm going to guess.
And this is something that, again, this was around the time that they started as well.
I'm going to say $120 million.
$200 million.
$200 million for GTA 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so this game should be like one of the greatest games of all time at this point, right?
Pretty much.
Huh.
But that is not what is happening. And
all right, so
of the 288 million, they have 14 million left.
The hell they spend the money? They probably gave it all to Mark Hamill.
Well, that's the thing. So you have staff costs of like 13 million because of the developers that they actually have it, and then, as you said, getting stars like Mark Hamill and other things like that. They just wasted the money for the most part. And there was a guy who actually went to court to try to get his money back. Spent $4,500 on items in the game.
But ain't no game, though.
Exactly. Took them to court, try to get a refund for these things, and he lost.
Of course he lost.
But he continued to buy stuff.
Whoa, so he kept buying stuff. Why?
Yes.
Why would you do that? See, this is an example of people just making poor choices over and over and over again. I understand the guy, okay, he worked for Microsoft, so maybe he does know what he's doing or something. But, I mean, after 10 years and $288 million, I'm going to need people to stop spending money on a game that does not exist. Like, at least Anthem exists. At least.
And I'm sorry, if you're spending $4,500, which would essentially, because they said that it would rank you up, it would essentially put you as, if you're a Destiny player, you'll get this. If you're not, shit, fuck it. They'll put you up as like Zavala. At that point, you are high commander at that point in the game. But the game isn't out.
It's pretty much the highest rank you can get. For those who don't understand. But that's ridiculousness. So people just, be careful with stuff on Kickstarter, ladies and gentlemen.
Very much so.
And this is coming from somebody, I actually have a few products that came from Kickstarter, all of which I've been very satisfied with, but all of them have been delayed significantly from whenever they said it was going to come out, whatever the product was. And 2, this has not happened to me, but a lot of people do just get burned on Kickstarter because the people just aren't able to fulfill whatever products they're trying to get started on there sometimes. So you just got to be careful, make wise decisions. Don't spend $4,500 on something that don't exist. If you're doing something like that, I feel sorry for you because 1, you probably have some kind of problem.
Little bit.
2, you're making poor decisions, and your poor decisions are hurting just a gaming community in general. Because I'm sure that some CEO somewhere is like, somebody spent $4,500 and this game ain't even out. We're about to start doing pre-orders for costumes now. So just chill,
Yeah,
people.
I felt bad for the guy because they were like, "Oh, he suffers from MS, and it's worsening. He just wanted to be able to fulfill these types of things." But then he was like, "I have poor impulse control." I was like, "No shit."
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. We might be able to bring that up later. I saw something else, somebody having poor impulse control, and there was actually this does actually apply. There was somebody who spent a significant amount of money. I want to say it was on Fortnite, and they got some help because they started realizing they have a problem with impulse control, or maybe they were addicted to gambling or something, but they spent a whole lot of money on loot boxes. And they actually reached out to the developers at Fortnite, and they were like, "Hey, I really love playing this game. I spent however much money, which is obviously way too much. I have a problem with impulse control. Is there anything you guys could do to help me out?" So they actually blocked this person's account from being able to purchase loot boxes.
Wow.
So, allowing them to continue to play the game, but they made a change specifically for this person that they can no longer purchase those loot boxes. I think that's something that's
very commendable.
That's right with gaming. So, it's not all bad.
That's true. I mean, we're never here to knock it. We are here to critique it and give our opinion. But that is one of the elements of gaming that I have come to fall in love with and that I know it for. But unfortunately, right now it's getting, and it's of its own doing. So I'll say that it's getting a bad rap and a lot of stuff, but it's pretty much its fault. So, maybe I think they got to get some of these, let's say, big publishing houses out of it. Maybe like that Fortnite model is the way to go, where it's just the studio. And, I'm not speaking to, releasing the game for free necessarily, but just having the studio that actually developed the game and has at least some level of respect or appreciation for the people that, spend their money on the games. Maybe a lot more studios need to start taking control of their own products like that. Yeah, which is why I think you and I both, we've had conversations about this. When Destiny was returned back to Bungie, we were like, that's a good and kind of like possibly bad thing. It just depends on where the pendulum swings and what they'll do with this. Because clearly they are very talented, visionary developers and artists and things like that. Whether or not that they're good business people and that they continue to make practices that were a little bit like, fuck, or will they go the route of listening to the community at every stake and then turn that wrong? Or will it just be a great game, a great setup, great business practices, and it's just like revolutionary, monumental type shit?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? And honestly, I don't think we're really going to see what Bungie does by themselves until Destiny 3. I think whatever we have for the rest of Destiny 2 is kind of already set. You might see some changes here or there, but given the amount of time it takes to develop things, I really don't know how much Destiny 2 can change at this point.
Very true.
At least without them just not releasing something for a very long time.
Well, not unless, they have, the might of Westeros behind them and somebody has to get that coffee cup out of there. It's just,
which is ridiculous. So, Game of Thrones fans, first of all, we're going to definitely go back and talk about episode 3, the episode that was too dark to see. But this last episode, they found that coffee cup in there. I would argue that maybe Westeros just had a Starbucks and somebody wanted a white
chocolate
mocha. Yeah, something. Pumpkin spice latte, maybe. Who knows? It's cold in the north.
I love the memes that came out. I would hate to be the barista who had to write, but Daenerys Targaryen, Stormborn. It's just like, oh my goodness, Mother of Dragons, Breaker of Chains. All of that was just hilarious.
Oh yeah, all of that on the side of the cup.
On the side of the cup was hilarious. Also, Starbucks saying no, she didn't get coffee. She got the dragon drink, which is one of their new drinks that they actually have coming out. Or that is out.
Oh, was it out before or after the show?
Before.
Oh, this was product placement straight up. If it was before the show, this was planned, people. I take it back. Starbucks paid HBO $40 million to get that cup in that episode.
Well, you heard it here first. Made that back then. I'll tell you that.
Damn dragon drink. Get out of here.
Everyone kind of took it in jest, and it was just funny, just pretty much like you were saying, that it's just taking so much time and effort and money placement of everything to get this down to the last season. It's 2 years in the making, and nobody saw this.
Nobody saw this coffee cup. That's what's hilarious. I'm sure there was some editor that was like, yeah, I saw it.
Fuck it.
You should have gave me a raise when I asked for one. Somebody saw that coffee cup in there.
You know what? There probably was, if somebody saw it, or it was one of those situations like, I'm about to go on vacation. This ain't got nothing to do
I ain't got time to I'm about to clock out.
Nothing to do with me.
This is the day before I go on PTO. It's 30 minutes left in my shift. This coffee cup just gonna have to make it because I'm done. Oh my goodness.
Man. And the thing is that I remember watching that episode and not really paying attention to it. But now they did remove it. So
they took it out.
If you go back and look at it, you won't see it unless you DVR'd it. But now, anytime I look at that scene, that's all I see, even though it's gone.
All you see is the coffee cup sitting on the counter.
And someone said she wasn't looking annoyed at the thought of Jon being, accepted as the king, but she was annoyed that they left that coffee cup there and she wanted a drink.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what if it had been me, I'd have been annoyed if they didn't put the soy milk in there, because otherwise. So
silly. Okay, but back to the third episode. What did they call it? The Battle of Winterfell? The Battle of Winterfell or the Battle of Night or something like that.
Yeah, a lot. So, I mean, we'll get the big complaint out of the way was obviously a lot of people felt like the episode was too dark. And I'm not going to lie, I found myself feeling the same way. I made all these adjustments to my TV and I just couldn't get it bright enough to really see the episode. But when I saw, I guess, the making of the little mini documentary about the episode, it started to make sense to me why that episode was so dark. The cinematographer kind of explained it as saying that they wanted the episode to be that dark to really convey that you're fighting the Night King. The operative word being night. Like he literally has the ability to just snuff out any source of light that's around him. So that was kind of the idea of having the Scarlet Witch come up and light the swords on fire. And then they ran out there and the swords started going out kind of one by one and just kind of give this sense of dread throughout the whole episode and started trying to rebuild these sources of light to give you a sense of hope. And then that light gets snuffed out by the power of the Night King. So you see the dragons breathing fire and you get excited. Then all of a sudden you realize, damn, the episode went right back to dark again. They light the trench up and you're like, all right, they lit up the trench. The White Walkers can't get past the trench. Then the trench goes out. Now, here comes the magic dragon. He got blue flames. So he's standing out amongst the darkness. It just kept getting darker and darker and darker until that fantastic moment when Air Arya just leapt through the air.
Air Arya.
And destroyed the Night King. After having that explained, I understood it and it made a lot of sense, but I still feel like they could have made that episode a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be that damn dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone also said that that was the editors fuck you to everybody complaining about the episode being so dark. That's why he left that coffee cup. You want to see something? See this.
You want to see the episode? You can look at this coffee cup all day.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. So what was your take on that episode?
My take on it, I loved, even though everybody complained about the darkness, I actually liked it. I'm not going to lie. I was straining and everything to watch it, but I could not turn away at all. Every step, everything, Ghost running out there. I was like, no.
Poor Ghost.
No. Tormund, Mama, everyone. I was just glued. And I'm usually trying to either edit a podcast or, get some content up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the night before on Sunday, because that's when I make my posts and everything and just set them to kind of post up and everything.
Yeah.
No, I was like, this gonna have to wait. This is what I'm watching. I was glued.
Yeah, it was definitely a must-see event. And I'm not even like a must-see event person like that, man. But that one they did a lot of things right in that one. My favorite moment from that episode, Arya was dope. But to me, she's not the real hero of Winterfell. The hero of Winterfell got to be Lyanna Mormont.
Oh, of course.
That girl's like 8 years old and she killed a dragon. I mean, a giant.
A giant, barehanded.
That's what I'm saying. The giant had picked up and crushed her poor little sad body, and she still just stabbed him in the eye at the end. You ain't taking me. I ain't going out like no punk. You can take this dragon glass to the eye. It was perfect.
Yeah.
She instantly became my favorite character on the show. Man, fortunately, she's off the show now, so I can have another favorite character, and it's going to have to be Arya until somebody else do some awesome ass leap through the air, dagger of death move on somebody. So,
I will say, Bran's, again, stoicism just kills me every single time.
Did you see his interview where he explained how he's able to stare at people like that?
Yes, I loved it. Hilarious. And if you don't know, please go watch it. I think it's on Jimmy Kimmel, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, I think so,
he is basically a brother of mine. He is blind. So basically when he doesn't have his glasses, he will not wear contacts. When he doesn't have his glasses on, he can't see shit. So he doesn't know what he's looking at half the time, which is why he's able to get such a good stare on.
Oh, that's crazy. This dude is just looking at blurred lines. He has no idea what's going on.
I love it. I just thought that was so freaking awesome when he said that. I was like, that makes so much sense. And none at the same time.
That's hilarious. So so far, everything has been great this season. Even in the moments when I felt like they could have done more in an episode, it's paid off. Like in this last episode, it was simultaneously too slow and too fast.
Yes, I will say that.
But given the track record, at least the track record with episode 3, I feel like it's going to pay off in a big way next week. And I'm definitely looking forward to what they're calling it, the last war.
Oh, next week?
I mean, it's got to be next week.
Okay.
You know, I'm not really trying to spoil the episode for everybody. I like to give them a week. I don't know when we're going to post this episode, but if you don't want to get spoiled about what happened, I'm definitely about to say it. So you might want to skip ahead a minute or two in the podcast. After she killed Missandei, like, you got to go to war immediately. You can't just cut the girl head off in front of everybody and think it's not about to go down within the next 30 minutes. Like, let me walk and get on this dragon, and then we go ahead and get everything started.
Okay, but you saw what happened to your last baby. I'm going to need you to think a little bit.
I mean, that wasn't her fault.
I do. Because even though she is very suspicious and wary of Sansa, what Sansa said made sense. She was like, you need to wait.
Oh, yeah.
Supplies are depleted. The men are hurt. Your dragons are hurt. Wait.
Yeah, you're right. I'll give you that.
Had she waited, I think she would have been in a better place. Also,
she definitely should have waited. But I will say that, I mean, watching the episode, you knew something was going to happen at that point. I didn't expect that. I just didn't expect that. Like, I felt like they were going to get ambushed or whatever, but I didn't expect the dragon to go down immediately. Like, he didn't
even have a chance.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I see the ships. Oh, shit, they got the scorpions. It was like, no, the dragon is dead. Now that he's dead, now we're going to show you how we killed him.
Yeah. I will say also, Varys, my lord.
Here's the thing, though. He's right, though. I feel like Varys is right.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead and explain what he said or why you think he's right.
Okay, so Varys is basically saying, like, hey, the queen she might not be the right person. She's making a lot of rash decisions or decisions that aren't well thought out. She's getting upset at people quickly, like she's starting to act, at least in his view, irrationally. And
not like a ruler.
Like, she's not going to be the best person to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And for those of you who may not really be familiar with the backstory of the show, her father was the Mad King. And the reason that he went crazy is because he started to become paranoid that everybody was trying to take the throne away from him, even though they weren't. And then he started doing these crazy things like killing people for looking at him in a way that he thought was funny, or he took everything as a slight and he just started doing crazy things to people. And I think Varys is starting to see that kind of trait in Daenerys. To me, you can kind of see her going down that path with the way that she handled that conversation with Sansa about what happens to the North, the way she handled finding out that Jon Snow was a Targaryen. Like, she wasn't mad that, oh, I'm sleeping with my nephew. She was like, so you trying to be the king or what? Like, what's popping? Like, immediately she was upset that this was even a possibility. And then in the last episode, we see that conversation with her. And to me, it's like she kept getting a little bit crazier and crazier, begging him not to tell somebody that he was a Targaryen. So to me, I see that decline in her stability, let's say. But also on the flip side, I kind of get it. It doesn't mean that she's gonna be a mad queen, so to speak, but I can see why Varys feels that way, and I'm kind of leaning towards that myself.
I am on the fence about it. I kind of hate that they're going like, okay, it's a woman, they're making her hysterical, now she got to be mad queen. But then again, everything that everyone is saying about her now, like, you know, she's irrational, she's not thinking right. She always was. Like, nothing she did was ever in the realm of like, oh shit, that makes sense. It was always just, I got a dragon, fuck you gonna do about it. So it really hasn't changed anything. I think she's always kind of been that way. The only time where she was a little bit more rational and thoughtful and stuff is when Drogo was alive. And after that witch like tricked her, she just wasn't the same. So I think this was pretty much her no matter what.
I'm going to be honest with you. Even if it was her from the beginning, that still kind of lends to what I think might be coming. Like, because to me, it's getting more severe.
I also think, why can't it be Jon that goes mad from the pressure of everyone wanting him to be something he doesn't want to be?
I mean, it could, but
just a thought. It's not Game of Thrones, I know.
Yeah, it's just not how that story would go to me. Like, that's a too, like, Mr. Rogers message of the day. Like,
message.
Yeah, I don't think that one fits, because the reason that they would even consider her, you know, possibly being, let's say, the Mad Queen is because of the whole incest thing that's typical of the Targaryen family. But in Jon's case, he's not a product of incest.
Yeah.
So to me, that wouldn't fit what happens in Game of Thrones. And, you know, again, for those who don't know, Daenerys' mother and father were brother and sister.
So her brother was her cousin.
Cousin, brother, some or other, whatever. And she was meant to actually marry her brother, the brother who was on the show.
But I mean, she is bumping uglies with a nephew. So I mean,
well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I mean, I'm just saying Jon is not the product of that.
That's what I was saying.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what I wanted to say. That scene was my favorite scene of the last episode, because it was just like he kissed her and then he was like, oh no. Never again.
Yeah.
Stop that.
So,
and she was looking like, well, what's the problem? That scene and poor Tormund.
Yeah, Tormund. Yeah, I think I felt bad for him.
Yeah. Oh, that baby was sad. Him not.
I mean, at least, you know,
woman.
He bounced back immediately, though, so it wasn't that bad.
Okay, can somebody explain to me, or can you, since you're the one on here, can you explain the Hound and Sansa thing?
The Hound and Sansa, they, you remember, I can't remember which season it was, but
Now, I know.
He rescued her. Like, she was about to get raped, and he rescued her.
Yes.
Ever since then, she's kind of, she was one of the first people to realize, like, oh, the Hound is actually a human being. Like, he's not like his brother. Like, he's not just a chick. So she's always since then, her relationship with him had always been a little bit different. And he would always call her Little Bird after that.
That I remember.
I think it was just a continuation of that. I don't think it was anything necessarily like some kind of romantic relationship or anything.
I wasn't thinking that, but I didn't remember him stopping her from getting raped. I forgot about all that.
Yeah. Okay. Shortly after that, he was like, when she was still in King's Landing, he was like, I'm going to leave. I can take you with me, and I will take you to Winterfell. And she turned him down. Yeah,
I remember that. Because I remember her bringing it up later when they were trying to smuggle her out later.
Yeah.
Okay. But predictions other than the Mad Queen.
That's kind of the only thing I got. I don't know what else is going to happen. I feel like Grey Worm is going to have to Hulk out and kill a lot of people. It's probably not going to be, meaningful deaths. He's probably just going to kill a bunch of random Lannister soldiers, but he's definitely going to have his rage moment, and then he's going to die. I thought Theon was going to kill Euron. Theon is dead, so that can't happen. That's all I got is the Mad Queen. I've seen people predicting that there's more dragons somewhere. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Jaime is probably going to kill Cersei. I guess that's one of my predictions. A lot of people don't seem to agree with me on that. And I guess that kind of leaves for taking the throne. I think in this episode, we see Daenerys take the throne, but I don't know if she keeps it. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think Jon's going to kill her.
You think Jon is going to kill her? I'm leaning more towards Sansa or Arya somehow. Sansa somehow.
Hell, it might end up being the same thing where Arya, well, no, you got to kill the person before you can take their face.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. I don't know. It's Game of Thrones, so it's like you can't be sure that the obvious thing is going to happen or that it's not going to happen. Because the obvious thing is Jon Snow or Daenerys, but there's no way to know that. I mean, the way this series is, Jon Snow could be the first person to die at the beginning of the next episode. You just got to live with it.
Very true. One thing I will say, there is not a drought of entertainment at this point in time. I will just say that. Game of Thrones is kicking ass, as well as the Avengers.
Oh, the Avengers. Can I just say, like, the Avengers in some movie somewhere in this Marvel cinematic universe has to win movie of the year. They have to win a movie of the year Oscar. I'm sorry.
Oscar?
Like, yes. And I'm going to tell you why. Yes. An Oscar. Because I want you to think about these movies that have all these sequels or have these story arcs. When have you had one that goes across 10 years, 20 movies, and it pays off?
I don't know.
When has that ever happened?
20 years? What's 20 years?
I said 10 years.
Oh, I thought you said 20. Like, I don't know.
That's absolutely never happened before. And for Endgame to be what it was, I mean, that was a good damn movie. Somebody got to get some kind of Oscar for that. That's all I can say. And it can't be one of them old BS Oscars, like an Oscar they just made up this year so that they could give the movie an award, and then they still give the movie of the year film to some random ass movie that nobody saw.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Okay.
That somebody make a movie about a pizza boy that dropped out of high school, then got back in high school. I hate
everything about you.
And use his pizza money to pay for his first year of college, and they gonna win an Oscar. Ain't nobody, no.
Okay. It did pay off. There were a lot of, fan favorite moments within it. The reason why I really don't think that it can get an Oscar is because that's a very kind of like niche category, unfortunately. And it doesn't appeal to a lot of, Black Panther was something that appealed to a vast majority of people. I
hear you. But Endgame made more money in the first weekend than Black Panther has made to date.
Endgame was going to do that no matter what. It got.
I'm just saying, you can't say it doesn't appeal to a lot of people.
Well, it was only because of the hype that's been surrounding it, like you said, for 10 years. Had it just been a movie that just came out, nah.
You're absolutely right. But you can't say that it doesn't appeal to a lot of people, though. Like, it clearly does.
Also, there will be spoilers in this. We will be talking about this. The spoiler ban was lifted yesterday. So if you haven't seen it by now, you don't want to see it.
I mean, I'm just giving you 1 week. Just in the future, if you're listening to this podcast, if it's been 1 week, you about to get spoiled.
Okay. Jules does not go with the rules of engagement. The director was just like, hey, if you haven't seen it by now, and I've seen some people post like some things that allude to what happened into the game. I mean, in the game, look at me, in the movie on social media. And people are just like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Everyone is like, the spoiler ban has been lifted. It is 2 weeks in.
There's one person that needs to either get put in jail. He needs to get suspended for the season from the NFL. LaShawn McCoy, on the Thursday that the movie came out, not even Friday, the official release date, the Thursday before, he posts on his Twitter, oh, they killed my boy Tony Stark. Then he posted a video talking about, why did you kill Tony? Why did you take Black Widow? You could have killed Captain America. You didn't have to let him get old and still be alive at the end. Like, he spoiled the movie the day before it came out officially.
I agree with him on the Cap thing, but still.
I mean, they did it for a reason.
I know. I get it. Also, with that, let's talk about some plot holes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it. What you got?
All right.
I mean, yeah, there's some.
Let me go ahead and start off with Cap. Somebody explained to me how he was able to get back and be old because Professor Hulk said that if you go into the past and change the past, it's now your future, and it's not Back to the Future. Shit didn't make sense.
Yeah, the Hulk set down some pretty clear rules for time travel. He said, and it kind of makes sense, from where you are, when you go to time travel, when you go to that place is now your present.
Yes.
And whatever happens after that is your future. So you don't go back to where you left from. You go to someplace different.
Yeah.
So it didn't make sense for Captain America at the end of the movie to be able to time travel and be sitting back on that bench as an old man. So that was definitely a plot hole. It's one that I struggle with myself. I don't know why they did that one.
That was some bullshit right there.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we have a
What the hell are
guest.
y'all doing?
Apparently, we have a special guest.
We have a guest.
What are y'all doing in here?
We're recording Cool Black Nerd. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, you see, y'all didn't really.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. You're on the
Yeah.
stream and you're on the podcast. So
Introducing shit.
Okay, then.
Who's Craig?
All right, then. Exactly. Craig is our audio engineer. In case you didn't know. I mean, I think he did. I mean, last week he did a pretty terrible job. We might have.
hey, I sounded perfect.
Well, whatever. We might have to let Craig go. Craig. Yeah, I said it.
You want to introduce yourself there, sir?
My name is Jules.
Well, damn.
Oh, okay. All right, then. Well,
What are you Negroes doing?
we
well,
literally just said it.
we just told
we
y'all.
are
I'm
on the
talking
stream.
about on the game, not the cool black. I see you playing the game.
We are. We're playing
We're
the game.
playing the
and
game
we're
while
recording the podcast.
yeah.
Same time.
So I'm streaming us playing the game and recording the podcast at the same time.
I got that. I'm asking, what are you doing on the game?
Oh,
right now? Like, what are
we
you-
just did
Oh,
the-
we've been fucking around for
We've
like
been fucking around. Yeah, we did the
15,
first part
20
of the
actually,
little
Jules,
quest
I will
thing.
say I didn't get that part.
You didn't get it? Okay,
Mm-mm.
well, maybe you can do it with his name is D, ladies and gentlemen. Just
Yeah, Dre D
Just so
from
you
Say
know,
What Radio.
Dre D.
Hey, stop giving away my name, Jules.
I say it Dre D. I didn't say your
My name-
government name.
My name is Jules.
They know my name, so it doesn't work. It's not gonna work at all.
Stop impersonating me, sir.
Oh shit! Well, oh well.
What are you streaming to?
I tried to put it on Twitch, but Twitch was acting up. YouTube just said, "Come on in."
All right. Well, I guess we can keep the conversation going.
All right. So okay,
We're
that was a
talking
big plot
about
hole.
it. Yeah, the plot hole with Captain America breaking the rules that were set for time travel in the movie and showing up as an old man at the end of the movie.
Okay.
Uh,
So my other one was Nebula. 2014 Nebula was able to trick everybody thinking that she was 2019 Nebula and
Mhm.
just pull a damn ship through the quantum thingy-mabob since she used all the little PIM particles supposedly. So
Yeah.
old Nebula or 2019 Nebula couldn't come through. Why couldn't they just do that with the stones?
Wait, what do you mean she couldn't come through?
No. Not 2019 Nebula. I'm talking about 2014 Nebula just pulled in the ship her dad was on through that thing. Why couldn't they just do that with the stones? Why did they have to go through all that rigmarole?
Oh, I mean, Nebula stuck her hand in there. Ain't no telling what she had going on. I'm just being honest. She stuck her hand in the machine. Ain't no, Nebula she might be talented. Now, I don't know why 2019 Nebula didn't do that. But I mean, you could also argue that she knew the exact coordinates or whatever of the ship. She didn't care about, we need
Nah.
to make it so that we can put the stones back or whatever, put the ship back or any of that. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, why couldn't they just, since she was able to just grab that ship, why couldn't they just grab the stones? Okay, I guess.
Yeah. There was one that someone had mentioned to me, but I don't really see that as a plot hole. They were saying that it was an ancient one. That, Hulk not getting the stone from her in the beginning, and eventually he talks her into it by her saying that, oh, he's meant to be the greatest one of us all, referring
Right.
to Doctor Strange as a sorcerer supreme or whatnot. Where in the actual Doctor Strange movie, she was, basically doubting whether or not she would take on Strange for his narcissistic tendencies and things like that.
Yeah, I got you.
So
I don't see that part as a plot hole.
yeah, someone said that to me. I was like,
No, I don't see that as a
no.
plot hole because I see that being as these are the words that I have to say to him in order for him to reach his potential.
Yeah, but the thing that someone said, and because I said that same thing when she was talking to what's the other guy's name? The guy that turned bad. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, she was telling him those things. She didn't tell, Strange, of course I get, but she was telling him, she was like, no, I don't want to put another student in peril to possibly go to the dark side again. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So-
all of the I still feel like all of whatever she did in that movie can be explained by
Yeah.
this is exactly how it had to play out in order for Doctor Strange to become
Yeah.
who he is.
Okay. So
Now,
that
whether
one,
they did that on purpose or not, you got an argument. But
Yeah.
to me, they're able to clean that up with the whole premise, honestly, for Endgame is this is the only way that it works.
okay, with that. So can somebody tell me who the hell called Pepper Potts? Like, who was like, oh, we need Pepper to do this?
I mean,
Doctor Strange met her once.
mm-hmm.
And you gonna tell me that she needed to be there for this one thing in time? Seriously?
It couldn't have been Jarvis.
Or
Jarvis was
Vision or
dead and
nobody.
stayed dead. Yeah, Vision was dead. Jarvis was dead. So it couldn't have been either one of them.
So when everybody got brought back, who the fuck was like, we need Pepper?
I mean, maybe Friday sent out a distress call from a Tony Stark suit. I don't know. I mean,
I was very surprised. I will say that I was very surprised to see her. And it was like a, oh shit moment for me. But still, I did think to myself, like, who the fuck called her?
oh, well, I was surprised that she was in the movie, period.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So, I mean,
yeah.
it made for a good moment with when they had the Women of Marvel.
Yeah.
So, I'm down with it. I'm not too mad at that either.
I mean,
Like-
she even got a nice little hit off on Thanos and everything.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the only plot hole is Captain America,
Cap.
which now that we have seen the Spider-Man trailer,
Mm-hmm.
we understand why that's the case, which I still feel like you could have done it
Mm-hmm.
and followed the rules that you set in the movie, Marvel
What-
writers.
One thing. So Cap was already fucked up, but also, how the hell did he get a fully restored shield?
Ain't no telling where that shield came from.
There's no telling where he went to when he stayed
And who
back in
knows? He
time.
got it. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows at some point he gets another shield from Wakanda anyway. So maybe he got one from T'Challa's dad. Who knows?
Yeah, he could have went to any timeline and got that thing.
Do you want to help me in starting off with this question since Jules is over here killing little randos?
Oh, yeah. I'm just running around doing random stuff.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I need to be lead because I didn't see that item when we were doing it.
I got you. So did
Talking about the fallen transponder. If you did not see it, you need to go back to Sloan and do that enemy of my enemy quest. Enemy of my enemy mission. And do not kill the fallen knight at the end. The fallen captain at the end. If you kill the captain, it won't show up. Jules probably did this long time ago. Most people did it long time ago, but you at the end, you have a choice to kill the knight and the captain. Some people didn't kill the captain. And if you didn't kill the captain, the transponder is here.
I kill
If you killed the
everything.
captain, the transponder isn't going to be here.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
have to
you
go
do.
back
That makes
and
sense.
do it without killing the
Given
captain.
what we know about the next part of this quest.
Everything dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all in all, I'll say this, from the Game of Thrones episode and for Avengers Endgame, I think we need to designate that weekend as the Stark Family Alliance Independence Day weekend. You got Tony Stark killing Thanos. You got Arya Stark killing the Night King. The Starks just won that damn weekend. It went down. We did say no spoilers, and we also laid down very specific rules for spoilers in the future. If it's been 1 week since whatever it is we talking about came out, and you hear a spoiler, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will definitely hit you with a spoiler warning.
Yeah, I was telling Jules that the directors actually lifted the spoiler ban for people on Avengers yesterday because they were saying it's been 2 weeks. And I'd run into a few people who had gotten pissed off about seeing some things that were posted on social media regarding Avengers. And Jules was like, fuck that 1 week. I'm like, damn.
And you got 1 week. Yeah, I'm keeping it fucking with you people. You got 1 week.
Yeah, you can't expect people to hold that shit forever.
Again, we say it in the intro of the show. What we talk about, Jules?
I don't know where you're going with this. All I know is
No, I was just like gaming, tech, and culture. This
oh
is
yeah,
part
gaming,
of
tech, and
culture.
culture. Yeah,
Come on,
culture.
man.
You're not. If you can't get to the movie theater to see something like Endgame in 1 week, it's on you. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones after 1 week, that's on you. I know you got. If you don't have HBO yourself, you got somebody HBO Now password. You could have watched.
Okay.
Although he's not condoning that you do that. Get
Yeah.
your own damn shit.
Please don't. Speaking of, since you brought that up, Spider-Man trailer reaction. Far From Home.
Y'all are gonna have to be the ones to react to it. I honestly haven't seen. Have not seen it. Yeah, all I know is what I've read about it, and I just know that spoiler alert, people, because I don't know when the trailer came out. But apparently, we're going into the Marvel multiverse in the future.
You know what? No, because I don't want my shit copy strike. I was about to say I'm a player
Oh,
now. No,
Nah,
shit
you're
copy
not
strike.
trying to do all
I
that.
think you can play the audio.
No, you can't do that. That's what happened to the Sonic trailers that people were having. Speaking of, what the hell was that?
That little Sonic the demon monster.
Oh man. So okay, let's talk
But I
about
heard
that.
they're making
Spider-Man
changes,
trailer,
right?
like as Jules said, the Marvel will be going into the multiverse. That is a very funny ass trailer. So if you have time, just go take a look at it whenever you do. It did drop yesterday. Not yesterday. I believe it was
2 days
Monday
ago.
or no.
Oh no,
not
yeah,
Monday.
it was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay, yeah, I believe it was yesterday because the ban was lifted. Yes, and it basically puts out as Mysterio being, coming from a different world due to the events of Endgame, causing a paradox, which may actually have been Cap's ass. Now that I think about it, so
Well, it had to be. Like, again, based on the rules that were laid out in the movie, it has to be because Cap decided to stay.
change some shit.
Yeah.
I thought also that's how they plan on bringing in the other acquisitions from Disney, X-Men and whatnot.
That's
It leaves
also
the door
possible.
open.
Yeah, it definitely leaves the
Yeah.
door open to that.
Yeah.
So
But anyways, along with that, about a week ago, the trailer for the long-awaited Sonic the Hedgehog movie was released.
Long awaited.
Yes.
Who was waiting for that?
For the movie, there have been people waiting for a long time.
I wasn't, but go ahead. I don't think we need a Sonic the Hedgehog.
I didn't think so either, but people have been wanting it. That's all I'm going to say. So
Yeah.
when the poster for the movie actually released, people were like, okay, this shit don't look right. And if you've ever seen the poster within the movie theaters, it was just basically Sonic's legs hanging off the edge of a building. So people noticed that he had regular feet and looked like he had regular legs as well. Of course, it made a lot of people like, the hell is this? Yeah, that's pretty much the continued reaction once everybody saw what Sonic looked. He got human teeth.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know if your grandparents or anybody you know has dentures. Like, that's what he got in his mouth. It's just all wrong. He's got fur. He doesn't look
it
like
was just
he's
terrible.
fat.
It looked like a kid in a bad Sonic costume with hair.
I don't know,
And
man. It's just all wrong.
I could not believe this. The internet wins no matter what. The internet always wins. So within an hour and a half, I believe, of the trailer coming out, people had already made it better.
Yeah.
They had
Oh, yeah.
redone it and it looks so much better and pretty much like Sonic. It didn't look like that abomination you call. I mean, one person did a fan reaction of it and they was like, this thing needs Jesus. And
Jesus, huh?
they were like, kill it with fire. It needs Jesus.
Jakaris.
The thing is that unfortunately, a lot of people who had actually gone through and done the reaction trailers of it, they had played the video and then done the reactions within the video. Because they did that, they got copyright strikes from people on YouTube. And it was basically the people who had the music within the trailer. They were like, hey, that's mine. You can't use that. And it was honestly because it was such bad reaction, honestly.
You can't use the music in the trailer.
Yes.
Yep. It wasn't because you used the trailer. It was the music in the trailer.
Yes.
So yeah, now on YouTube, you got to be very careful about the music that's in
Yes.
the background
Yes.
of the videos that you post.
Also, can somebody answer me as to why they use Gangsta's Paradise as?
Who knows? That's what I'm saying. The whole thing was just bad. And thank God the director came out and was like, okay, we're making changes. Like, okay, we understand that this can't come out like this. So hopefully, hopefully they delay the movie like they delay video games because they need to redo that whole thing.
Just go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, like she said, Sonic looked like a pudgy kid in a bad Halloween costume.
Very much so.
That ain't gonna get it.
And how do the rings work in this shit?
I don't know. Do they even have rings?
They had rings. He was like throwing the shit in like portals or something. I don't know what the hell it was.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why they need to go back to the drawing board. Redo Sonic.
I will say that Jim Carrey looked to be the highlight of the movie. I was saying to myself, I was like, Dr. Robotnik, he doesn't look like Robotnik.
That's because he's Eggman.
Well,
You,
I mean,
you saw Dr. Eggman, yes. And if you've been playing it for
I
so
got
long,
to
you
it.
know what we mean.
yeah.
I got into an argument with my son over
The
that.
fact
Oh
that you
Lord.
keep telling people that.
Because you can't take our childhood and create a new name for it. I want to hear this shit. It's Dr. Eggman. It's not Dr. Eggman. It's Robot. No, it's Eggman. It's my cartoon. It's Robot. It was created during my time. You go
Oh,
away.
that's so
I can
terrible.
dig it. I can dig it. I mean, I wasn't concerned about Jim Carrey because Jim Carrey can look like whatever he wants to. When it comes to stuff like that, to me, he's like white Eddie Murphy. They can get enough makeup on him to make him look like whatever he needs to look like.
I can't stand you. He said white Eddie Murphy. Wow.
Yeah, he played the clumps. He played the Jewish man in the barbershop on Coming to America. Eddie Murphy played everybody in his movies. So
You know what? I will say this. I remember watching that movie the very first time and did not know that was him.
exactly.
None of us did when we were young. That didn't exist. People doing that. They didn't do that back
Yeah,
then.
sure.
you were just like, I don't know who this man is, but he's funny.
Yes.
I've never seen him in any other movies.
I didn't know that was him in Arsenio Hall. Basically, all of them in the barbershop.
It was only one other person in there.
Yeah.
Arsenio and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. And Cuba getting his haircut.
That don't count. He just sat there.
But you remember him, so he did a good job just sitting there.
I just remember him because everything else was so funny. It got nothing to do with him.
But yeah,
It got nothing
I
to do
never
with
did
him.
watch the movie all the way to the end every time. So it took me a while before I actually saw it. I was like,
Oh
Eddie
yeah,
Murphy.
before you saw it at the end,
Yeah.
and he played everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, Eddie, how is this Eddie Murphy?
Mhm.
Well, you just say the soup.
All right, where's the soup? Aha.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm gonna put this in here just in case. I don't know how long we're gonna keep this going, but thank you everybody for listening to the Cool Black Nerd podcast. You know, we got the new logo, we got the new intro. Let us know what you think about that, and we'll catch you next time.